whenever you choose to stand up to do the right thing, or whenever you choose to stand up and speak out against wrong or ungodliness or unrighteousness, expect to suffer persecution. Expect a backlash. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "They that live godly must suffer persecution. They that live godly must suffer persecution." We're in times where we're surrounded by the enemy. Now, what I find quite interesting is that black people, there are certain groups of black people that love to refer to the white man as the enemy. But we have a much bigger enemy that we have to battle, and it comes in all colors, shapes, sizes, backgrounds, experiences in life. And a lot of those enemies could be right in your own household, your own family. I want to give a shout out to Boosie Badass. I want to give a shout out to T.I. and other men, other so-called black men that is not afraid to stand up and speak out against unrighteousness. That's not afraid to stand up and speak out against abominations. What type of abominations am I referring to? It's sad that we have to cloak our words so that the algorithms don't pick up on it and delete our videos off of YouTube. But there's an agenda that I spoke on years ago. I made videos years ago speaking on the rainbow agenda. And now it's in full effect. In the beginning, they just wanted rights. They wanted to be equal. They wanted to be able to marry and receive benefits. That's all we want. We don't want anything else. We're not hurting anybody. We're peaceful people. And now it's at a point where you can't even voice your opinion. You can't speak in opposition against their deeds and the things they're doing. Now, I give a shout out to Boosie Badass because he and T.I. is one of the few that's not afraid to stand up and speak in behalf of the children. Now, grown folks do what grown folks do. You make choices and decisions for yourself. You will be held accountable in life and in the life to come. Even if you choose not to believe in that, you will be held accountable for the choices and decisions that you make in life. But when it comes to children that's underaged, and you give them that right to make the choices, the same choices that adults make for themselves, and choices that adults would not even think about making for themselves. That's evil, and that's wrong. And you push these children out there, you teaching them not natural sex, but you teach them gay sex at an elementary school level. And you think that's okay. I grew up in an era where children don't make choices for themselves. They're not mature enough. They're not developed enough to make choices and decisions for themselves. Why do you think they have an age of consent for sex? And it varies from state to state. In New York State, it's 17. 17 is the age of consent. You have to have a license. You have to be 21 years of age to be able to drink or own a firearm. But yet you giving underage children the right to change their gender. You giving them the right. They say I'm gay. They wear heels or put on a purse, and you support that. And what's even sad is that you have fathers that's supporting that for their sons. Their underage sons, they're pushing their son out and feeding their children to the beast. And it's sad. So when I see people like T.I. and Boosie Badass that's not afraid to stand up and speak out, and then you have, they got shows that's canceled. You got people that's canceling business deals that cancel them because they had a voice to speak out. And I think that's sad. Those are the times that we're living in today. Those that live godly must suffer persecution. You will go through something if you speak out against wrong. And that is just wrong. It's wrong to force that or put that kind of responsibility on children. We see every day in the news where you have adults that's being arrested for child trafficking, child pornography, sexual assault to children. You got Bill Cosby that just was released from prison for alleged sexual assault years ago. R. Kelly is still dealing with a legal case dealing with underage females that made a choice for themselves. And you have people that disagree with that. They were not young enough to make the right choice for themselves, but yet, and keep this in context, but yet you're giving 11-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds the right to change their sexual identity. You're referring to little boys as she and little girls as he. Now, I rarely hear you referring to a little girl as a he. So the main target is the boys, especially in the black community. This is what you're doing to little black boys. And then when I see these rappers that's influencing a lot of these kids, and you have a lot of so-called rappers, black males, that's supporting this, and even they themselves seem quite feminine. It's sad. It's a sad reality where the black race is being wiped out. The black race is being wiped out. And you're giving up your life willfully without a fight at all. So, shout out to Boosie. Shout out to T.I. Shout out to every other black man that's not afraid to stand up and speak out against unrighteousness, because it's too silent in the black community. We're just accepting everything that's given to us without a fight at all. No one is fighting because they fear of losing their jobs. They fear of losing their loved ones, because you have family members that will turn their backs on you, that will walk away from you. Why? Because they choose to bend over. I'm not going to go there. They choose to do something ungodly. And because someone disagrees with that, you now kick that family member to the curb. They that live godly must suffer persecution. So anyone that chooses to stand up for unrighteousness, and I give a shout out to the women out there, the black women, the so-called black women that stand up, that have not sold their souls or accepted that mark of the beast. So, but even with the mark of the beast, and I'll be making a video on that soon, because this is not the mark of the beast. That jab is not the mark. But I think it's a preparation for the mark. It's preparing the minds for that mark. So when it comes, people will receive it a lot easier than they did this poke or this jab or this stick or whatever they choose to call it. So feedback, tell me what you think until next time. Peace.